A kid handed me a note at the rink that said, "Don't let him call me champ," and my blood ran cold. I was a volunteer for my niece's beginner hockey practice, basically the gate clipboard and the sign-out sheet. The rule was simple. Nobody leaves with a kid unless their name is on the list. Owen was the smallest player, all oversized helmet and nervous eyes. He skated hard, but he kept glancing toward the lobby like he was waiting for someone. During a water break, he drifted close, pretended to adjust his shin pads, and pushed a folded paper into my glove. "Please," he whispered. "Read it when he can't see." I waited until the kids went back on the ice, then opened it behind the rink pillar. "If a man in a red truck hat says he's my dad, don't let me go. Call my mom, Julie, 5555-0109. He calls me champ. Don't say my name." I looked through the glass. A man in a red trucker hat stood by the vending machines, not watching practice, watching the gate. Then he lifted his phone and aimed it at the bench area. My doubt vanished. Practice ended. The kids shuffled off the ice, blades clicking on rubber mats. Parents crowded forward. I stood at the gate with the clipboard, smiling like everything was normal. The man walked straight up to me. "Hey," he said. "I'm here for Owen." His mom texted me. "Emergency pickup." Owen froze behind Coach Mara, eyes down, hands clenched around his stick. "Great," I said. "What's the pickup password?" His smile twitched. "Password?" "Policy," I said. He leaned in. "Don't be difficult." Then he called, loud and cheerful, "Champ, let's go, buddy." Owen flinched so hard his helmet strap snapped against his chin. I raised my phone like I was checking the schedule and stepped sideways, blocking the gate panel. "1 second," I said, and dialed Julie. She answered immediately. When I told her about the red hat and the nickname, her voice went sharp. "Do not let him take my son. That's my ex. No custody. Protection order. Call police. I'm coming." I hung up and looked at Coach Mara. "Hold the kids," I said quietly. Coach Mara didn't ask questions. She turned to the team and clapped. "Bench, everyone. Water and helmets stay on." The man watched my face and realized he wasn't winning. "Open the gate," he snapped, and reached past me toward Owen's sleeve. Coach Mara stepped between them. "Do not touch a child," she said, clear and loud. A dad waiting nearby moved closer. Another parent lifted their phone to record. The man backed up half a step, eyes flicking to the exit. 2 officers arrived within minutes. The man put his smile back on. "Thank God," he said. "They're refusing to release my son." One officer crouched in front of Owen. "Do you know this man?" Owen shook his head. "He's not allowed," he whispered. The officer stood and asked for ID and custody paperwork. The man handed over a printed page with a court logo. The officer scanned it and tapped the top line. "This is a filing receipt," he said, "not a custody order." The second officer spoke into his radio, listened, then looked at the man. "There's an active protection order," he said. "You're violating it by being here." The man turned to run. He made it 3 steps before the dad grabbed his jacket and the officers cuffed him beside the vending machines. When they searched him, a small white tracker fell from his pocket and clicked on the tile. The officer held it up. AirTag. Coach Mara checked Owen's gear bag and found another one taped under the zipper seam. Julie arrived shaking and furious, hugged Owen so tight he disappeared into her coat, and thanked us through tears. Owen looked up at me and said, voice tiny but steady, "Mom said if I can't talk, I can write." Later, the officer told us he'd tried the same trick at 2 other rinks that week. Owen's note was the first one that worked.